वेलकम टू कम्युनिटी राउंड अप। हम यहाँ पे आज ब्रैम्पटन के एक एरिया में हैं जहाँ पे एक स्पेशल पार्क में ब्रोवुड ब्रैम्पटन के एरिया में जिसको कि नेम किया गया है गुरबख्श मल्ली जी के लिए, जो कि पहले टर्बन सिख थे यहाँ पे ओंटारियो की पार्लियामेंट के अंदर और उन्होंने 18 ईयर्स तक तकरीबन सर्व किया। तो उसकी एक कार्रवाई आपको हम यहाँ पे दिखाते हैं। बहुत सारे लोग मौजूद हैं, तो आइए चलते हैं।
First of all, on behalf of our Pavilion community, I welcome each and every one of you present here. I know the weather is too bad and it's too cold. I don't want to continue and make it a long speech because I'm doing it every day. That's not a problem for me, but I want to make it short. That thank you very much, and it's really honor that our park name is under Honorable Dr. Gurbax Malhi. He is my friend for the last 20 years, and because I'm living here, and we have 90 houses here, and we have all association. Like I can some suggestions. Like small association means like if anybody needs a ladder, they just put it on a WhatsApp group. Within a minute, they said, okay, come and pick it up. And if there is any stealing or anything, or if they need a plumber or a city problem, they just put it on the WhatsApp, and within an hour or so, all problems are solved. So we have 90 houses association, and we welcome Mr. Malhi here, as well as Gurkirat and other councillors will be here soon. So I don't want to keep it long. So thank you very much, and each and everybody is welcome over here in the park, in the natural atmosphere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I would like to acknowledge and welcome to the podium the Leader of Ontario Liberal Party, Stephen Del Duca.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Councillor Santos, for your introduction and for giving me the chance to share a few of my thoughts and say some words about my very dear friend, Gurbax Malhi, who we are here today to honor with a well-deserved recognition, the park being renamed in his honor, of course. I have to say it's a real thrill to see so many familiar faces and good friends in the audience today. I know someone else might do this officially, but I just want to say Han Dong and Ali Assassi, members of Parliament for Don Valley North and Willowdale, are here today. My very good friend Jiwon Gill, City Councillor from lovely Windsor, has made the drive all the way here today. Manpreet Brar, Liberal candidate for Essex, and I know many others who are here. Now Marilyn Raphael, Liberal candidate from Brampton South, and someone who looks familiar right there, I think that's Harinder Malhi, who we all know as well. Who is our colleague in the legislature and Gurbax's daughter. I'm so delighted to be here, as I said, for this well-deserved recognition of Gurbax. Now, I know, looking at this audience, that so many of you have known Gurbax for years. I've been leader of the party now for a little bit less than 2 years, and I served for 6 years in the legislature, but my time in the Liberal Party, both federally and provincially, goes back more than 3 decades. And so I can still remember the 1993 campaign. I can still remember Gurbax's decision to step forward, to seek the nomination, and to become ultimately the member of Parliament for this community with your help and your support. And I still remember how incredibly groundbreaking that moment was in Canadian politics and even internationally because of what Gurbax's arrival in the House of Commons meant for the Sikh community. Recognizing, as I understand, that Gurbax was in fact the first turban Sikh to be elected to a parliament anywhere in the world outside of India, Malaysia, or Singapore, which is a remarkable accomplishment. And then to have watched, as a proud Liberal, to have watched his career through the many years, serving as a parliamentary secretary, being so actively engaged, and working so hard to represent the families of this community in Ottawa throughout his career. You know this as well as I do. Gurbax Malhi is a man of integrity. He is a man whose word you can trust. He is someone who has always been involved in public life and in politics for the right reasons, always fighting for the people who've given him the honor of serving in Ottawa. And so I am so thrilled and so touched because Gurbax has been a dear friend to me and a dear supporter of mine. And I want to acknowledge him. I want to acknowledge his family, including, of course, Harinder, who I talked about a second ago. I had the honor of serving alongside Harinder Malhi in the legislature and in cabinet. I believe the first female Sikh cabinet minister in Ontario history, I believe, if I'm not mistaken as well. This is a family that really does break ground, a family that really does move forward, and a family that works so hard in the realm of public service. And I also want to acknowledge the City of Brampton, Your Worship, for making the decision, and Councillor Santos and others for making the decision to move forward with this park dedication. It is really, really great news and a very well-deserved honor. Gurbax, congratulations from the bottom of my heart, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the program. Thank you so much.
And now I'd like to invite Mayor Patrick Brown to deliver some remarks.
Well, thank you for being here today. My friend Sam Bassford told me it's cold, don't speak too long. But I don't want to shortchange what a special day this is for our community. And to officially welcome you to this park unveiling, where we rename Rhapsody Park to Gurbax Malhi Park. And it's wonderful to have so many dignitaries from all over the GTA here to pay tribute to an individual that was truly a trailblazer. And you just hear in the comments before we started the love and admiration there is for Gurbax Malhi. A number of years ago, when we were talking about our city infrastructure with Regional Councillor Gurpreet Dillon and City Councillor Harkirat Singh, we talked about the fact that our streets, our city infrastructure, our streets, our parks, when we look at naming, should reflect the mosaic of the community. And in a manner where we celebrate people that are role models, individuals who have really set a standard for others to follow. And it was an easy decision when we thought of Gurbax Malhi. Well, what a symbol for the community, what a trailblazer. You know, I first learned about Gurbax Malhi, like many did, just reading about him in the newspaper, where he won the largest nomination in Canada and became the first South Asian elected to the House of Commons, and really paving the way for the success that we see today. Gurbax has a storied history. Was born in a village of Chuga Kalan near Moga, Punjab, to a hardworking Sikh family engaged in farming their own lands. He received a bachelor's degree in English, history, and political science from Punjab University. During the 1960s, while still in India, Mr. Malhi started actively participating in politics. When Gurbax emigrated to Canada in 1975, along with his wife, Devinder Kaur, he quickly gained a reputation for someone who would offer a helping hand to any person in need. I don't think that has changed at all. When he was first elected to the riding of Bramley-Gore-Malton in 1993, he became a voice for the South Asian community across the country. And it was just the beginning of a long, distinguished career. I actually overlapped with Gurbax in the House of Commons. We were both there for a few years together, between, I think, 2006 and 2011, and we overlapped. And I remember getting to know Gurbax because during the lunch break, he would always go to the parliamentary gym, and he was walking on the treadmill. And I'd go there and I'd talk to him, and at the time I was representing a different riding. But I remember thinking, you know, what a generous, decent man who had so much insight into the country. And you could see why Prime Minister Chrétien had such affection for him. And then many years later, we reconnected. And I remember moving to Brampton, and Harji Bajwa, who's here, Harji, give me a little wave. He said, you have to, first thing you need to do is you have to have coffee with Gurbax. I went to have coffee with you, and it reminded me that we're so lucky in Brampton to have you in our city. And for anyone who thinks he's retired from looking after the city, that's not the case. I still get regular calls from Gurbax telling me things to work on. Normally, constituency work stops when you're no longer elected, and you can go off and enjoy your retirement. Not Gurbax Malhi. I think that's why we all have such admiration for him. Let me give you an example. We had a closure in one of our recreation centers where it was closed for a period of time, and seniors couldn't use the Shinkuzi Wellness Center. And so he called me up and said, that's not right. You're going to need to give a rebate to the seniors that were using that facility. And we had a meeting with the seniors and recreation staff, and a few weeks later, they got their rebate. But I was thinking to myself, there he is with a group of dozens of seniors trying to make sure they had their, they were treated fairly. And it shows that sense of wanting to help others has never left Gurbax's heart. And I just wanted to come here today, and I know Councillor Singh and Councillor Dillon will have much more to say. But on behalf of the city of Brampton, I want to say thank you for being a role model to the city. And I know you've been a role model much beyond the borders of our city. And that's evidenced by the fact that we have Stephen Del Duca here, MPs from across the GTA. Thank you for everything you've done and the example that you've been. Congratulations on this naming.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brown. I'd now like to invite Regional Councillor Gurpreet Dillon to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sat Sri Akal, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Namaste, Salam. It's such a wonderful opportunity to be here today and see so many familiar faces, and I'd like to acknowledge all the dignitaries as well. A lot of people here who, along with Mr. Malhi, are integral in electing and getting the first turbaned MP into the Parliament. So I just want to say thank you, Councillor Santos. I'm very happy to be here for this park renaming. After being elected to represent the residents of Bramley-Gore-Malton in 1993, Mr. Malhi was continuously re-elected further 5 times as a Member of Parliament until 2011, which is 18 years. It's phenomenal. During this time, Mr. Malhi served at various key positions, including Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Revenue, the Minister of Human Resources and Skills Development, the Minister of Industry, and the Minister of Labor as well. Mr. Malhi also served on various parliamentary committees, too many to mention. He also has the honor of being the first turbaned Sikh elected to Parliament, as I mentioned earlier. And so, just on a personal note as well, you know, Mr. Malhi, I want to say thanks. You paved the way for people like myself, people like Harkirat Singh, and so many more turbaned Sikhs. Growing up in Windsor, I lived there for the first 10 years of my life. It was such a hardship that we had to go through. And when I moved here, and I recalled one of the biggest nominations, probably in Canadian history, which he was successful in, and it was great to be part of you know, politics at that time and learning so much. And I never knew at that time I'd actually become a politician. And we owe a lot to Mr. Malhi and the work that he's done. And he's also from a group of Sikhs, the first batch really that came to Toronto in the 1970s, who went through hardship themselves. And stories I've heard from my dad and many people here of some of the things that they had to go through. And one thing he never let go of was his faith and his culture as well. And we're really, really proud. And if you take a look at what Brampton was 30 years and what it is now, you know, Mr. Malhi has a great deal to do with that. And so there's too many people here to name, so many people that are involved in getting us to this point. But I just want to say thanks to all of you. And just once again to Mr. Malhi, congratulations, and your hard work will be remembered for years and years down the road. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Councillor Dillon. I'd now like to welcome the mover of the motion, Councillor Harkirat Singh, to the podium.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor. First of all, give yourselves a round of applause. I think it shows our testament and love for the Honorable Gurbax Singh Malhi. What I can say about the legacy of Gurbax Singh Malhi is obviously the major contribution is breaking down barriers. As a youngster myself, I was able to see somebody that looked like me, that looked like my parents, on TV every day, making change in Canada for the betterment of Canada. And because of that, many in my generation were inspired by the actions and the politics of Gurbax Singh Malhi. And from that in my opinion is Honorable Gurbax Singh Malhi's biggest legacy, his contribution to our youngsters, particularly our youngsters of a South Asian background. Outside of that, 18 consecutive years as an MP, 5 different elections is no easy feat, especially in Brampton. We all know Brampton politics, and that's a testament to your integrity, that's a testament to your character, and that's a testament to your contribution. So it's an honor to be the mover of this motion, and I look forward to seeing how you continue to contribute to the betterment of Brampton and Canada. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor Singh. And indeed, the influence has been far and wide. And I have heard from Gurbax Malhi that there is a councillor who drove all the way from Windsor to sit here in the cold with all of us. And that is Councillor Jeevan Singh. If you could please come to the stage to say a few words if you're here. There you are. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Santos. And thank you, Mayor Patrick, and Councillor Gurpreet, Harkirat, and all other dignitaries, Dan and Ali. Welcome to Brampton. I started also helping him from the first nomination, even before that one, the presidency in 1990, and that is the time he started putting up his legs into the political arena, and then a lot of things has said about him. All the 18 years he served the community. I think first of all, recognition for the community, like the support they given him to be a part of this change. And now we see the big change coming in with the new generation coming in. He put his steps on Mr. Malhi's steps, and now they are following, and now we can see how big our Brampton MPPs and MPs are representing us. It is the community support, and again, I would like to say all that we need to be work unitedly and to accomplish something like this big. This is a big achievement for the community, not just for Mr. Malhi to recognize his name on a park, and that is the designation. In coming years, our generations can see the change we want to see in Brampton. That is the starting point from here. And I would like to thank all of you coming in the cold weather and be part of this change. And most probably congratulations Mr. Malhi and his family who has served the community. And thank you all the people joining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, before we start with our photos, I'd like to welcome the person we are honoring today to say a few words, Mr. Gurbax Malhi.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the city of Brampton, the Brampton City Councillor, Brampton Regional Councillors, and the Mayor of Brampton, Patrick Brown, for proposing the motion to have rename the park Honorable Gurbax Singh Malhi. I'm very proud of you. This is not only the proud for me, this is proud for the whole community at large in Brampton and Ontario and Canada. This is a very beginning traditions for the city and for the Ontario and Canada. I'd like to also thank Stephen Del Duca, the leader of the Liberal Party of Ontario, my friend, and Dong, Member of Parliament from Don Valley, and my friend Ali Sasi, the Member of Parliament from Willowdale. Some other few Member of Parliament, he was unable to attend as I think Santo mentioned, Ruby, she is in Ottawa now. She got the new duty now. She has more responsibility. She is the deputy whip. And same thing, Kamal Khera, she sent the regrets. She has more responsibility too. She is the Minister for Senior. Same way, Maninder Sidhu, he called me, he mentioned it, because due to the minority, the situation in Ottawa, all the MPs have to stay there most of the time when there is a minority government. That's why they are not here. Otherwise, they are pleased to come here. Thank you for them. And Sonia Sidhu. Kamal Khera sent some representative from her office, so I'd like to welcome them too. As you know, I was going to drop my grandson. I think he is here. Huh? He is here too. That will be a good memory for my grandson. His mother, my wife, Devinda, my daughter, Harinder. I was listening to the radio, and that was very coincident. They say that history is coming. So I was thinking, the history came to Brampton today. The reason, where we are standing, this was a vacant land in 1993. And my campaign team, they put the sign on this land somewhere. And the city called me, city called our campaign office, they said, move the sign. This is city property. Unfortunately, so coincident after so many years, now the city, they put my name as an honor. So I think that's the history. So many things happen like that. Same way, most of the people know, but I want to mention few of my achievements. I lobbied to bring a Canadian passport office in Brampton, which you are enjoying now on Highway 10 and Bovet. Canadian passport office that was opened by us. And second one was at that time they called the Human Resources Center. Now these days they call Service Canada. I lobbied to open the office in Brampton on Corporation Drive at that time, and they did that. Third, I lobbied to have a consulate general, first consulate general in India and Punjab, and they did that. The Liberal Party did that, so I'm very proud of that. At one time, the private company, the corporation, want to open the nuclear waste disposal plant, and I lobbied for that. That was on Sanpak Drive, close to the Sanpak Temple, Gurdwara. I lobbied for that. They did that, and we canceled that nuclear waste power plant on Sanpak Drive. There are so many other achievements which I can count, so many numbers, but now too cold, hard to, you cannot wait long, and I think the tea is not here, so but I also think anybody else, Vicky Dillon, the former city councillor, is here in same way. If somebody else, Amarjit Sidhu, very popular man in the Punjabi community, is here. All the other senior clubs from Brampton, so many senior clubs like the president, Mr. Sohan Singh Labana, other presidents, Mr. Sira and Mr. Pandi, and so many other clubs presidents are here, senior club president, Mr. Resham Singh, so many. So Resham Singh, Tingsa, and so many others. They help me all the time during the campaign. Especially, I would like to thank my long time past, she was with me long time, my campaign, my election not my election, my ops manager, Janet Friend, and she is here too. So there are so many other people who worked for me, and especially our leader, community leader, Indrajit Bal. He is here. I'm very glad, and so many other. At the end, I would like to thank each and every one of you, and I hope this is the beginning for us. Now, my friend and advisor, Yadvinder too, he is a lawyer. He has an office on Career Drive. His father especially, he served as a high court lawyer. He was speaking continuously one time and the high court for almost 36 hours, continuous, no break for 36 hours. He was on in the high court in Punjab, India. So Mr. Sambi is here too. So I want to apologize if I left any name, because too cold, so many, we have. Even the tea is not here yet, I don't think so. Yeah? So the tea is here, that's okay then. Because if we have a tea before that, I will be more hot and I can, go more and more. So thank you. So you came here in the so cold weather. Thank you, Santo. I was telling Santo, my neighbor, that was we call something Santo. She was my auntie. I said, oh, I was thinking last night, instead of Santo, I said, you're Santo, my Masi. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
तो जनाब ये था आज का कम्युनिटी राउंड अप। हमें उम्मीद है कि आपको ये पसंद आया होगा। इसी तरह के और कम्युनिटी के जो इवेंट्स यहाँ पे ब्रैम्पटन मिसिसागा में या ओंटारियो में होंगे वो हम आप तक लाते रहेंगे। तब तक के लिए सी यू एंड बाय बाय।